Hey everybody, it's Monday, May the 10th, 2021. Hope you all had a good weekend. There's been lots going on. I've been away for 2 weeks in terms of news, so apologies for that. I was on the Velocicoaster last week and I never got around to doing a news roundup. So here we are. So in this week's news roundup, we're looking at the usual COVID stats, vaccination stats, how's the US doing against the rest of the world in terms of vaccinations, what's going on with the travel health notice from the CDC, and the instigation now of the traffic light system from the UK, when a US border is going to reopen to direct flights from the UK for UK travellers. We'll review Jerry Demings, the Orange County Mayor's 3-step plan to recovery, and also Ron DeSantis, the Governor of Florida's Executive Order. Into Disney news then, and temperature checks will soon be disappearing for guests. There's quite a bit of news on the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. There's going to be no Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party this year, but it's been replaced by something else. The Festival of the Lion King has returned at Animal Kingdom. Face shields are now optional for some cast members, and the Disney College programme will return in June. At Universal, they've already taken away temperature checks and they've halved social distancing. The Velocicoaster was on AP preview last weekend. It's then been on soft opening for the rest of the week, and it opened today formally. SeaWorld has also taken away temperature check requirements and it's halved its social distancing. We're going to take a quick look at the Disney Parks Availability calendar and then finally the weather. Okay, let's crack on. So starting off with some COVID stats. New cases in the US as on Saturday was 35,755. The 7-day moving average in the US was 59,647 2 weeks ago. It's fallen to 42,795 today. That's a 29% drop. US active cases are now 6.5 million. 2 weeks ago that number was 6.9 million. That's a fall of 6%. The US 7-day average for deaths is 676. 2 weeks ago it was 729. That's a drop of 7%. The next milestone is 724 from October the 6th, 2020. The lowest total of deaths in a day since COVID ramped up was 523 on July the 5th, 2020. That's the day after Independence Day. New cases in Florida on Saturday were 3,977. The 7-day moving average for Florida new cases was 3,948. 2 weeks ago it was 5,978. So that's a fall of 34%, a little better than the national average. Active cases in Florida this week were 390,000. 2 weeks ago that was 416,000, a fall of 6%. That means we've beaten the 4,495 7-day average from March the 18th, 2021. The lowest total since the pandemic took hold is 2,271 on October the 4th, 2020. The 7-day moving average for deaths in Florida is 67. That was 62 weeks ago, an increase of 12%. Taking a look at the positivity rate in Florida, as of Saturday that was 4.67%. In Orange County the positivity rate was 5.9% as of yesterday. That's important because 5% was one of the triggers for Jerry Demings' 3-step plan. Not that that matters anymore, and I'll tell you why very, very soon. But they reckon that below 5% means that there's much less chance of the pandemic taking hold again. The number of doses delivered in the US as of Saturday was 329.8 million. 2 weeks ago that was 290.7 million. That's 39.1 million doses in 15 days at an average of 2.6 million a day. 2 weeks ago 225.6 million doses had been administered. That number is now 259.7 million. So over 15 days that's an average of 2.3 million per day. That's dropped off a little from the peak of over 3 million a day, but we're still going quite strongly, I think. Looking at the chart that shows how each country is doing for the share of people who have had at least one dose of vaccine, Israel is now 62.6%, the UK 51.8%, and jumping into third now the US at 45%. Germany's ramped up its programme and both France and Ireland are doing better than they have been. The CDC travel health notice for the UK at level 4 remains at level 4. It's not been changed. If you saw my video from last week, I'll put that up there now. I did the math because they basically tell you how to do it. It's unlike the UK traffic light system, which we'll come to. I worked out that it was a level 2, not a level 4 in the UK. I did tweet them and they didn't respond, so I'm guessing this is more political than it is real, but that's where we are right now. In the meantime, I did tweet Paul Charles again, and this time I did get a response. All he said though is that the UK could reciprocate on access with the UK when President Biden visits the UK on June the 11th. Simon Calder also responded, but again, nothing definitive that I could measure. Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings set out a three-step plan to get us out of COVID restrictions. On the 28th of April, he did a press conference. I covered my reaction to that in another video, which again, I'll put up there now. You can have a look at that. Just 5 days after that, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis issued an executive order. That executive order removed all COVID restrictions. I've got it here. All the whereases explain how he has come to his decision, and after now therefore Ron DeSantis states what the executive order does. So this executive order stops cities and counties from issuing their own COVID mandates now again, but individual businesses can still do as they please in terms of asking people to wear masks or have temperature checks. The parks obviously haven't rolled all their COVID mandates back yet, but I don't think it'll be very long before we can see more coming off. The percentage of people in the US who have had at least one dose of vaccine was 42.2%. 2 weeks ago, it's now 45.8%, so another healthy increase. 34.4% of the population are now fully vaccinated, up from 28.5% 2 weeks ago, so that's really good news. Florida now ranks number 18 for the share of people who have had at least one dose of vaccine. That's up from 19th 2 weeks ago. Florida was in 25th place 2 weeks ago for the share of people who have had both doses or fully vaccinated. They're now 21st, so again, a good rise there for Florida. The UK unveiled its own traffic light system for international travel this week for UK travellers. The US was placed in the Amber Group. This means nothing at the moment, as US borders are not open to people travelling direct from the UK unless they fall into several very small groups. It appears then that there could be an announcement made. This all seems to be political at the moment. The UK has put the US into the Amber Group, which is not the best group. The US has put the UK into level 4, the worst level it can possibly be. There seems to be no real reason for the UK being in level 4, as I've said before. And I think this week it should almost be in level 1, all things being equal. So it appears to me that this is all political. Why? I don't know. And why they have to be together, why Prime Minister Boris Johnson and President Joe Biden maybe have to be together to make an announcement, I don't know. Maybe because it's of such magnitude, because it could be an air bridge, whereas the travel health notice may not be one, although it should be, and maybe the US shouldn't be in the green, but maybe it will be put there. This could be an air bridge, a reciprocal agreement just between the two countries, forget anybody else, and that would be good, especially if it means that there are zero quarantine requirements, zero COVID testing requirements on either side. I don't know whether it will be. I don't know whether they're going to mandate that you have to be fully vaccinated in order to get on a plane to the US or to get on a plane to the UK, if they're going to just nix quarantine and COVID testing. That would make sense to me, but it would mean that, especially in the UK, a lot of people wouldn't be able to travel because they haven't had both doses. What it would mean for kids, I don't know. We've rolled out vaccines for children up to the age of, from 16 to 18, but not below yet. I don't believe the UK has got anything under 18 yet, so what would happen to kids? So what about the airlines then? I looked at Virgin Atlantic. They've scrapped all their flights up to July the 1st from London Heathrow and from Manchester. It's a bit cheaper to fly from Heathrow unless you want to be in upper class. They've scrapped completely all flights this year from both Glasgow and Belfast. British Airways though, I can still book a flight with British Airways from Gatwick on June the 7th, and TUI also flies from Gatwick on June the 7th. So I don't know whether they're going to start scrapping them. I don't know how far in advance they have to start scrapping them. If the borders are going to be open in June, how quickly can people get there? I would say that if you're going on a British carrier, then it's going to be maybe unlikely that you're going to go on June the 7th, because that announcement may not be made till June the 11th. If it's June the 11th, how many flights will have already been scrapped? Will there be any left in June? There might be. However, if you're going on an American carrier, on a code share or something, Delta or American or United, then you could still be going, because they won't be scrapping their flights, because there'll be US citizens travelling back on those flights. So although it'll be indirect, it won't be direct to Orlando. You could find yourself getting to Orlando before the British flights get there. Into Disney then, and quite a bit of news from there. On May the 8th, cast members were no longer needed to get a temperature check before starting work, and from May the 16th, guests will no longer need to have a temperature check either. On May the 3rd, the day that Governor DeSantis issued his executive order, Disney quickly put out a notice to all guests stating that there would be no change to its health and safety measures at that time. Disney's Star Wars Galactic Cruiser Hotel has been pushed back to open now in 2022. In reading about this hotel, it will be an amazing experience, I'm sure, matched with an amazing price, but we are now going to have to wait until a little bit longer to witness it. Disney's produced a short video on what looks like a much more realistic lightsaber, and that's going to be revealed in the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser Hotel in 2022. Here's that video.
Light, darkness, a balance.
Disney has revealed concept art for the Corellia dining room, which forms part of the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. Corellia is where the Millennium Falcon was built. Also, the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser Hotel has been added to the digital map for Hollywood Studios, so you can now see where it's going to be in relation to the park. Disney has revealed some details for the Disney After Hours Boo Bash. This replaces Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party for 2021 and will be on select dates starting on August the 10th up to October the 31st. Price is not yet available, but face masks are required at the moment at least. It could be by the time August comes around, they won't be. The Festival of the Lion King has reopened at Animal Kingdom as of May the 8th. Let's hope this is the start of many more to come. Face shields are now optional for cast members who had to wear them. They were frontline and couldn't socially distance from guests or other cast members. That's now optional for them, but some restrictions do apply. Finally, the Disney College program comes back from June 2021. Students whose program was ended early or suspended in 2020 can reapply now. This isn't the cultural exchange program, which is still suspended. At Universal Orlando, they were very quick to remove the requirement for temperature checks following Governor DeSantis' executive order. They were gone by May the 6th. As you can see, or not see, they've now disappeared from this COVID requirements board. Universal has also reduced social distancing to 3 feet. The Jurassic World Velocicoaster opened to annual pass holder previews last weekend. It has been on soft opening since the AP preview finished and will formally open today. I was there for the first slot for the annual pass holder preview last weekend, and I did a video on it. There it is now. Have a look at that. It's got some pretty good stuff in there, and also a meal you will not want to eat at the Three Broomsticks. Have a look at it for that only if you want. SeaWorld has also dropped its requirement for temperature checks and halved its social distancing to 3 feet. Looking at the Disney World Parks Availability calendar for May, theme park ticket holders and resort guests have slim pickings, with only Epcot available for only 5 days in May. The worst available day for annual pass holders is May the 14th. In June, there are already 7 days that are unavailable for theme park tickets and resort guests. From June 26th, you have the option of Animal Kingdom or Epcot, but before that, just Epcot. Annual pass holders have no issues at all. Into July, and the Independence Day weekend is turning into a 7-day affair. The worst day for availability is July the 4th for theme park tickets and resort guests. Again, annual pass holders have full availability. No issues at all for August and September. Moving into October then, and Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary. The first now has only Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios available for theme park tickets and resort guests. It's like that already for annual pass holders, and the second is also unavailable for Magic Kingdom. The 31st of October sees Magic Kingdom unavailable for theme park ticket holders and resort guests, but it's all okay for annual pass holders. Everything is completely available from November right the way through to January the 14th, 2023, when the availability calendar ends right now. Finally, the weather, and it's starting to see some afternoon thunderstorms and more clouds. After Wednesday, we'll have low 80s up to low 90s. Still pretty nice though, from my point of view. Okay, that is it for this week. Hopefully that was useful for you. If it was, please do give it a thumbs up. The algorithm does like that, and it will then spread the video to other people. If you're new or you're old and you like this stuff, then please do subscribe. I'll be back next week for more of this stuff. I'll have a video midweek as well. Probably it's going to be the Atlanta airport video, show you how to get from international flights through to domestic flights. That should be useful if you're taking an indirect flight. Okay, see you till then. Have a great week. Stay safe. See you then. Bye-bye.